Hi, I'm Randy Altman with Post Perspective. We're here with Richard Bluff from ILM. Richard, welcome.
Thank you.
Now we're here to talk about, there is no SIGGRAPH in DC this year, but if there were, you would be presenting, I guess, a panel on your work on The Mandalorian. So instead of being there, you're going to be doing it virtually. Can you tell us what people could expect when they watch this online?
Yeah, there's been a lot of material that we've released over the past few months, since the beginning of the year, actually, showing how it is that we created season one of The Mandalorian. And I felt as though one of the stories that wasn't really being told is how all the different departments work together. So the art department, starting with Doug Chang, through production design with Andrew Jones and the VAD, talking a little bit about how that affects construction, about how workflow affected the paint department, for example, and how that then affected visual effects, considering that we were effectively running in parallel with physical construction, building these digital sets so they would all come together at the same time on these LED screens for principal photography. So for me, I felt as though some of the other departments, the other individuals, production in particular, because obviously what we did turned the production paradigm on its head. And I thought it was important for those voices to be heard, and a little bit less of me, to be honest.
Well, it's a fantastic story to tell, and it's been well received, and Emmy has given it some love as well. But it's sort of going to become a new way, already a way of filmmaking, especially with the COVID crisis and people having to find different ways to produce things. How do you see that affecting the way you work going forward?
Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, when Jon Favreau and the whole team came together to prove out this technology and to follow what his vision was, this was the initial conversations happened in 2017, a long time ago. And so we were never to think that what we were doing would be so relevant today with the current pandemic. It's the technology is not a panacea. It's not a solve for everything, because we still require people to come together to do the shoot. But considering that a great deal of the construction of the set extensions are on the LED screen, it does reduce the amount of construction that we would have undertaken if it was on a blue screen stage, for example. So we are seeing a reduced footprint in terms of using this technique. We are pushing a lot of the work virtually. A lot of the work is happening remotely right now, where you have directors, the DP lensing, you have production design, getting feedback on their environments, and of course, visual effects, building those environments with the virtual art department. And so all of that is happening remotely, which is huge. And I don't think that we would be in this position now. And I do hope that what we've been able to do is, can help others get back to work, because that's really what we're all concerned about at this point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, let's just talk about game engines for a bit and how that helped your workflow and how you think that could help going forward.
Yeah, it's interesting. If you speak to Jon Favreau, he's a huge fan of tech. Every gadget out there, he's either got or played with or utilized in filmmaking. You can kind of look back to obviously The Lion King and the way that he made that movie using Unity game engine. Obviously for season one of The Mandalorian, we used Epic's Unreal Engine. And in addition to that, ILM has a history of using other engines in the work that we do. Obviously going way back to AI, we used the Epic game engine for pre-visualization on set. And then, all the way up to Carne Arena, Inarritu's Oscar-winning project, which was, again, using the Unreal Engine. So it's clear that with the advancement of this technology, the hardware, the software itself, but also the range of tools that are out there, it's just helping everybody do their job quicker and more efficiently. Of course, it doesn't by any means limit the use of our traditional tools, our traditional renderers, our traditional DCC apps, but they all come together as a suite of tools to support what it is the filmmakers want to do and how they want to work.
It also helps with the creativity too, because you could try more things in real time, maybe be inspired.
Absolutely. That's one of the interesting things is that, there is a period in our production when the VAD is working with Andrew Jones, the production designer, and of course the DPs and every other head of department. And at that point, that's basically rapid prototyping. That's when you really want to try everything out. What happens if we push the wall out? What happens if we frame the camera over here? Let's change the lighting in the background. Let's change to a day load, to a night load. All of that exploring helps the filmmakers understand their story better and have a better way to present their story. And that's what rendering in milliseconds allows you to do. Again, game engines aren't the only application out there that allows you to do this work, but quite obviously with the hookup that they have into VR, these remote sessions, and the fact that everything is built to be real time, it all contributes towards a wonderful workflow.
Richard, a lot of people worked on this series. Can you talk a little bit about the vendors and the work that they did?
Absolutely. It's interesting. We talk a great deal about the LED technology, of course, but the show wouldn't be what it is today without our vendors and all of our creative partners. First and foremost, Legacy Effects, John Rosencrantz and his team creating, of course, Baby Yoda, from designs from Christian Altsman, from Doug Chang's art department, but also the Ugnaught and the many, many, many other creatures and puppets that they made, and costumes. Mandalorian's armor, for example. But beyond that, of course, we had ILM, of course, Hybrid, Image Engine, Pixomondo, ILP, El Ranchito, and many, many more vendors that all contributed almost 4,000 visual effects shots to the season, whom we couldn't have produced this show without. And, they are the heroes as far as I'm concerned, as well as everybody that contributed to the practical and the LED content.
Thank you, Richard. Thanks for joining us.